Example number 3. In Labrador Retrievers, brown fur is recessive to black fur. Brown, according to the reading, is recessive. In this case, I gave you the recessive phenotype before the dominant, so I want you to be comfortable with the fact that they don't have to go in a specific order. So if brown fur is recessive, that means I'm going to use a lowercase letter to represent brown fur. That means black fur has to be the opposite. The opposite of recessive is dominant, and we know that we always use a capital letter to represent a dominant allele. In my question, it says 2 brown dogs are crossed. So this is tricky. We have to ask ourselves, what genotype must you have in order to be brown? So let's go back and read the first sentence again. It says, in Labrador Retrievers, brown fur is recessive. It's a recessive phenotype, and we have 2 brown parents that we're crossing. The only way to see a recessive phenotype, because remember, it's not strong, it's weak, is to put 2 lowercase letters together. So if I have 2 brown dogs, I know that my parents have to be homozygous, because they have to be the same, recessive, because they have to be lowercase. So I'm going to write that down. Then the question goes on to ask, what is the expected ratio of brown to black dogs in the litter? Before we answer that question, let's fill in our key and then fill in our parents. Black fur in this case is going to be a capital letter. I'm going to use a big B because it's dominant. Brown fur is going to be a recessive phenotype, so I'm going to use a lowercase b. Now my parents are homozygous recessive, so that means that they're going to be 2 of the same letters and they're both going to be lowercase. So both parents are going to look exactly the same. They're going to be little b, little b. I'm going to put my parents into my Punnett square. One parent goes at the top, another parent goes on the side. And again, whenever I do a Punnett square, whatever's on the left side of the box I bring in, whatever's on the top of the box I bring in. So in this case, my parent in this, or my baby in this first quadrant is going to be little b, little b. I'm going to do the same thing for my next quadrant. I'm going to bring over whatever's on the side into the box, whatever's on top into the box. So in this case, I'm going to have, once again, little b, little b. Let's go ahead and write down what the phenotypes would be for each one of these offspring. If I'm little b, I have to be brown. So I'm going to write that down. And then in this quadrant, my other baby is also going to be brown because they're 2 lowercase letters, or 2 recessive phenotypes, or 2 recessive alleles that code for the recessive phenotype of brown. See if you can go ahead and fill in the last 2 quadrants of your Punnett square and then come up with the expected ratio of brown to black dogs in the litter. Good luck.